What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
I wanna win one like they do in Cali, please. Roll it, let me build it, practice it, rebuild again. I love it. Love the AGL, I'll play my cards with lands to start. And after they commit, I'll wipe the board and break their heart. Oh no, I have no removal. I'll play my best, show them what I got. Oh no, why did I keep that hand? I'll play my best, show them what I got. Can't beat my, no you can't beat my magic deck. Someone's gonna win the potty. Can't beat my, no you can't beat my magic deck. Someone's gonna win the potty. Player of the year. Player of the year. I wanna win my pot and move on to next week. Then the mega draft top 8 is what I aim to seek. I love it. So many players that deserve to be the best, but only one can win and they're better than all the rest. Oh no, why is my pool so bad? I'll play my best, show them what I got. Oh no, there's too much aggro. I'll play my best, show them what I got. Can't beat my, no you can't beat my magic deck. Someone's gonna win the potty. Can't beat my, no you can't beat my magic deck. Someone's gonna win the potty. Player of the year. Player of the year.
Hello everyone, and welcome into the show. What an intro we got up top. Our Player of the Year song, bright and early. No weird story about how I found it or what it is or what it was. Just a little ode to everyone who made it here and where we are now. This is Hunt the Week. It is a weekly Magic the Gathering show about the Arena Gauntlet League that we know, love, and play in. And I am your host with the most, your Donjon DeMarco, your Goku or Go Home, the Pride of Mardu. I am a 4-time top 8er, a 2-time league winner, and 1 time I struggled to build my week 1 Player of the Year pool. Yes, I don't know how much we're going to get into it. I mean, I guess we might as well get into it a little bit, all right? Like, that's what the show is, me talking about what's going on with me, as I am the everyman. Well, I'm the man with a microphone, but I try to be the everyman. I really do. But this year, I'm every man in the Player of the Year. Every man, every woman, everybody, come along with me and join my struggle. And if you remember Player of the Year episodes, I played drops throughout the entire year, but I never know what I'm doing as I record, so I don't know what this is going to say right now.
We usually don't pick up hitchhikers, but I'm going to go with my instinct on this one. Saddle up, partner.
That's right. It's this segment of the show. We are in week 1 of Player of the Year. We did our drafts. We did our snake drafts, fantasy football style, where we picked 6 packs. Every pack that is on Arena was picked. I was in Ravnica Pod. It was a really, really good time. And these were the packs that I was able to get. I first picked OTJ. OTJ came to me as the 2nd pick in the draft. Then Strixhaven. I really wanted to play Strixhaven. I love Strixhaven. So I took Strixhaven 2nd. Got War of the Spark 3rd. Zendikar remastered. For my 4th, 5th was M21. I love a core set. And then Guilds of Ravnica to top it all off. Some fixing in there. I didn't really have any synergy plans going in. I didn't go in with any plans of like, oh, I want to play artifacts or, oh, I'm proliferate or whatever. It's just like, I'm just going to take the strongest packs I can and hope to open really strong cards, and hopefully that it will be enough. And hopefully it will be enough. So I've gotten my pool. It's been rolled. Right now, as I record, it is 6 o'clock on Thursday. Player of the Year started Wednesday at noon. Like, as of yesterday at noon, right, games can be played. I don't believe a single game has been played yet. We're more than 24 hours in. Everyone's just practicing. So much practicing. I have done 9 practice games myself. I've only played against 2 people, and I've done 9 games. I will say the games are very, very quick, fast and furious, and everyone's trying a bunch of different builds. So it's like, oh, we'll play 3 games or 3 matches with one build. Okay, we'll switch. I'll go to another build. You go to another build. And then we'll kind of talk a little bit. Hey, what builds did you like? I don't know. This one, I liked this one, or these plays were cool. Or will you take a look at my pool? Because we're not playing cross-pod, right? So I'm practicing with people in other pods. We're talking Magic. We're talking Shop. We're building decks. Other people are doing the same thing. I am a little struggling. I've got what looks like a nice red-white aggro deck, but it's a red-white aggro deck. It floods. It is prone to... if the draws aren't great, it doesn't do well. It's pretty good, but it's also not really my style. And then I have a more control-y Jund deck that I'm tweaking. But then it's also like, it's kind of 3 colors. Am I splashing? How much fixing am I putting in? The fixing is kind of not great, so it's watering down my deck. And it's like, do I want these fixers that aren't as great when, red-white aggro is just 2 color and it's all cards that matter. And this one, it's like, oh, it has a lot of removal and some good stuff, but it's also got like a little bit of fluff in there, a little bit of fluff that I don't know that I love. I don't know. I got to keep playing more practices. I got to figure it out. I don't know when I'm going to start playing. I have no plans to start playing. I don't feel good about what deck I've picked, and it's open deck list. So once you pick your deck, you build it. You got to submit it. People can see it. You don't get to change it. So get it right. Get it tight. Get your practice games in. That's what this is, right? We are in practice mode right now for Player of the Year. We got our pools. We're practicing, and top 4 of each pod, 6-player pods, bottom 2 in each pod don't make it to next week. Next week is 9-pack sealed of all the packs we played this year. I love it. This week is 6 packs drafted 40-card decks. We're going to see how this goes. I don't know how I'm feeling. I don't. I've got a bomb. I got a Roxanne from OTJ. That's a bomb. But is that enough? Like, I don't know that card is enough. And I don't know. My Jund deck is really just trying to get to that card. We're going to figure it out, as I hope everyone else is. If you're not in Player of the Year, the Roto is going on right now. I'm doing Roto. I am loving it. I am mono red so far, even though I've got one red-blue room. But secret between you and me, I'm mono red. I don't plan on playing that blue room. But maybe it was a signal. Maybe I will go blue. I don't know. But I've got only red so far. And then we've got the fantasy football side event, the AG NFL. You may remember last week I said I was 0-4. Well, this week I am currently 6-5. From 0-4 to 6-5. The tank week 1 strategy may have worked. I've got one more game to play. If I win it, I'm pretty sure I make the playoffs. I might make the playoffs without winning it. I am not sure. But I picked a strategy of like take all these really strong cards that were on buy in the first week to hopefully make it back up. And it's working, even though I didn't realize my strategy was also all my other good cards are on buy in week 4. And those cards from week 1 really got to do some work and carry. But they are. So that's good. But the fantasy football thing's really great. Kevin Kinney, 1993, has a side event tonight I'm signed up for. I believe kind of a spooky cube we're going to be doing. Really excited for that. There's just stuff going on all the time. Duskmorn drafts are going to be happening as soon as that comes out in the next week. And then it's Duskmorn League, and who can't wait to talk about that? But we don't get to talk about Duskmorn League just yet. We got to take it back just a little bit as I bring on a guest to talk to.
Digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt. Digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt. We're moving the earth. It's hard work, hard work, hard work. Digging in the dirt.
Yes, that's right. This week I brought on the winner of Bloomberg League, the one, the only Maranda L. Black Canary. Miranda has been on the show a bunch. I have met Miranda in person. Miranda is awesome. She is a vital member of the community. She is a great Magic player. Again, I don't know what to say about that. She's got way more top 8s than I do in like half the time. She is fantastic, and she finally got her league win that she's been trying to get for so long. So happy for her. So excited to get her on the show. Listen to my interview with Miranda now. All right, everyone, join me this week as we congratulate our Bloomburrow League winner, Miranda L. Black Canary. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Happy to be here.
thank you for coming on. You get the league winner invite. How does it feel, Miranda?
Feels so good.
Oh,
Could not be happier.
oh, it's the best, isn't it? The league win. And I know you've been trying to get it for so long. It's been just out of your reach, and now you can check that off your list. Oh, right in time for Player of the Year too. So, how good? It's got to be the best.
Absolutely. These were some of the uh some of the Discord tags I was still waiting for. Been trying for a long time. It was finally my time.
I love it. You had your emote ready to go. Uh,
I've been waiting.
it's your avatar, the sheep, the Mareep. It's great. It's wonderful. But we got to talk about how you got there. Let's talk about Bloomburrow League. You were kind of doing well throughout the entire thing, if I remember correctly. But I didn't see a lot of your games. What was going on with your league?
Yeah, so I actually had my hottest start ever.
Nice.
I think it was like 13-2, 12-3, something like that. Like really hot out of the gate. Normally, the leagues I top eight, I do pretty good throughout and then like really get there in the end. This one I started really hot. My starting pool had a lot of the good green white sort of go wide stuff. I had a Phineas, I opened a war leader
Nice.
really early on that really helped,
Hmm.
and an offset white board clear.
Ooh,
So really solidified me in white. But midway through the league, I was not opening any go wide. I never opened a hop to it ahead of
wow.
Homestead. I had my two carrot cakes that I started with. I had two hosts. And that was it. I was not open and go wide. I opened the green turtle in my first pack,
Oh, nice.
but I didn't open like any green, like the whole mid stretch. Um, but I did open two Zora lines.
Ooh, so good.
So I splashed them at some points. I splashed a little bit of black removal at some points because I had pretty good fixing. And I was sort of eyeing the black white bats deck for a long time. I didn't quite have the life gain or the bat synergy or the amount I needed to really go for it until probably late week four, and then I finally got enough bats and the second Zora line. I was like, all right, green has not been doing it, and I had noticed a lot of other people had really hot starts with green white, but it's sort of fallen off. And red white aggro was really coming into fashion and was kicking my butt. I was getting destroyed by these really aggressive red black decks. And my green white just was not keeping up. So we switched to black white. The sort of life gain synergies really helped my aggro matchup, and the Zor lines and the sort of more value-oriented life gain benefits helped me extend into a long game in a way my green-white deck couldn't, because for me, BLB is a flood heavy set. I think
Yeah.
it's very prone to flood. I think there's not a lot of good ways to spend your mana late and like flood protection. So I think it's just very likely, and it was really getting me. Whereas the black white has a lot of ways to spend mana and a lot of good sinks, and things to do late. And so I had a sketchy middle, but I really came through in the last 2 weeks with the black white build.
I think that's just kind of where you want to be. You start with
Hmm.
the scary green white deck for the first few weeks when it's really good and like kind of oppressive to the other decks because people don't have their stuff together. And
Hmm.
then when people start to get their stuff together and they get their aggro decks, now you're switching to the counters to that, right? You're like, oh, okay, well, now I'm going to start gaining a bunch of life and killing
Hmm.
all your things. And it's just if you switch at the right point and do the right thing at the right time, it all kind of lines up.
And I played a couple people that had offset like black -1/-1 effects or red 2 damage effects. They're really getting to me. But I that is definitely one of the things I love about trying to watch games. As we know, I love to watch games, but one, because I feel very connected to the community when I do so. I feel like I know what everybody's up to, how everybody's doing, what fun times everybody's having, what people are
Mhm.
trying out, what's working, what's not. I'm not really trying to assess everyone's build, like specifically, judge everyone specifically. I'm not keeping detailed notes on anyone. I can vaguely remember if something really cool happened that what people were on or something. But, everybody's decks change so much. It's not like I'm trying to perfectly scout everyone. I'm just trying to get a feel for what's happening. And I do think to have success in the later weeks, you kind of need to know how the meta changes, because I think it does change in League even more than it does in Draft. Of like, yeah, green white was really good early, really fell off late. Red white, red black really stepped it up late, and you needed to combat that to keep up. And so, just feeling in tune with the league is the goal.
I've noticed that too, that in the leagues where I'm really into them and I'm watching all the games, I'm just noticing like cards people play. I'll be like, that card's in my pool and I'm not playing it. Like, is this card good? Like it's I'll see people play cards and I'll kind of get more of a feel of what I should be doing too, based off what other people are playing too. Uh,
Yeah, and just like interactions you don't see because you're only playing a couple days a week. Like,
yeah. And if you remember their deck a little bit when you play them and you remember they have their board wipe, it's not the worst thing in the
hey,
world.
you can look up your opponent's pool at any time. I can know whether you've got a board wipe, whether you stream or not, so you may as well stream.
Right? I
It's
always
not
just
gonna change the fact that I got your pool open, okay? So, may as well be a part of the community.
So you have the Great Bloomborough League, like you said, you have your hot start. You stay hot the whole way. It's another league that Miranda top eights, and you've top eighted quite a few at this point. But then we have the mega draft that always, the final step, the finishing line that's always evaded you. You've done the mega draft side events. You're well tenured in your top eights, your mega drafts. Um, did you have any strategy going in? When did you have a good feeling that this was going to be the one?
So, as we all know, this was my eighth time participating in a top eight, so statistically, it was my time to win. That's how statistics work. We all know this. Uh, no, but I've always felt okay about the fact that all my mega drafts up until now, I have, Richard does his analysis afterwards, everybody talks about it, I ask all my friends, and everyone agrees, bad draft seat, you did all you could. Maybe one or two picks I would have done differently, but overall, you did a good job, just nothing you could do.
Hmm.
Or, deck didn't play good, it didn't want it. I've only occasionally felt like I really, it was on me that it happened. I think Mega Draft is a lot of luck. I always fall back on that I know like it also took a lot of the Discers a long time, like many top eights to get their first league win. So, I just count myself in with them. Just takes a little while sometimes, just with the luck of Mega Drafts. But this one was actually very funny because, as we know, normally I like to do a practice. I like to really research and I'll debate with people, what's going to be good, what's not. And I did my normal research, went in thinking probably some sort of like Abzan is going to be best, but it's going to be really contested. With these sort of sets, there's a lot of power to go around. There's a good amount of fixing, so make sure you're willing to splash and like really lean into whatever power and value you can get. It's going to be very value oriented. The aggro's not really going to get away with much in this one.
Hmm.
Don't worry late if it's not going like if you start good and it falls off because when you get to like Eldraine and stuff, there's just not going to be as many playables and that's okay. Like I did all my research, but I was actually out of town Wednesday through Saturday with the Mega Drive happening on Saturday night. So I did not have time to practice this week. I did not run a practice for this Mega Draft. Possibly for the first time of my 8 Mega Drafts. I didn't want to practice.
Oh boy.
Um,
Now that's your thing. You can't practice. That's
and so turns out that was the trick. I told myself I was just gonna lean it. I wasn't gonna, go in with too much like wants or prejudgment on anything. I was gonna see what I opened, go back to drafting fundamentals, really care about threats, removal, curve, just really go back to basics, be willing to lean into whatever I open, go hard on value. Um, and just, you know, went in without studying and I guess proves kids no reason to study, drugs are cool, whatever you want to
procrastinate
say.
all you want.
Yeah, like turns out all I need to do was not study for this one
You
and
had it
just
in you all
I
along,
yeah,
Miranda.
I was just trying too hard. Who could have guessed this?
You just had to believe. And you had to open the bombs, right? Like I did see you had the
Yes,
Stoic
pack
Sphinx.
one was a bit dry. I just took good green cards because that's what I know and love,
Hmm.
and figured I want to be able to splash different things, so I just took fixing. And then pack two, we open Sphinx and we run it down mid. I'm not often a blue player, but I went in willing to do whatever I need to do to get the value and the power. So I went in and I took my good rare and I went green blue. Of course, Dan, my best friend in real life, right next to me, opened Bonnie Paul and immediately abandoned his red to also go blue green. But we ended up being the only real blue drafters, so it still worked out.
And you two met in the finals. I watched that game. It was a nice back and forth all the way down to the wire game three. Your deck just had too many little flyers that could it could just disperse really quickly that were hard to deal with. And you take home the Bloomborough win, the last tournament of the 2024 season. Big congratulations to you, Miranda. I know you've been trying to do it a long time. Couldn't be happier for you to get your big win.
Yeah, I got very lucky. Dan did not get Bonnie Paula any of the three games. But nonetheless, we had three very good games. There were no just like hard mulligan down to four or land problems. Like they were all three hard fought games. Great back and forth. Could not have been happier to be playing my best friend, and I have just great games to finish it off. And just the amount of support and love I've been getting from the community, from, my good friends, people I interact with a lot, and even some people that I've hardly ever interacted with, and like, just in passing, have been so nice and encouraging and messaging me and just posting in general saying, yeah, we'd love to see Miranda winning. Like,
That's
th
awesome.
this I've sort of been in a low point in Magic right now. I've been struggling with the Arena Opens recently since they switched to play boosters because,
Hmm.
sealed is a mess.
Oh yeah.
So I've been sort of feeling down, so I was just really happy to top eight this one, feel good about it, and then to win and get all of this love from everyone. It's been really big for me. It's felt really, really good. And just like to really see the pillar of the community that I am shine through with how much support I've gotten is really what I needed going into Player of the Year.
Oh, it's well, you're one of those people. You're a stalwart of the community, Miranda. You've been there a long time at this point. You like to watch all the games. I'm always looking for those eye emojis. I never want to let you down
You're gonna
when I
get a
get them.
new eye emoji now.
And
You'll
then
know it's me.
and everybody wants you to win. So everyone's so happy to see you get it. We all know you've been trying to get it for so long, and now it's the last stop on the way to Player of the Year, another tournament I know you've been wanting to take down for a long time, and now you've got the momentum. You're scary, hot off your first win. What can't she do? Oh,
We've never had a girl player of the year.
that's
Feels like
true.
it might be time.
It
But
might be
yeah,
time.
it's very easy to like feel like know that you're a core part of the community, but then to just like really see it and how much everyone wanted you to win, like it is just great. But yeah, last year in Player of the Year, I made it all the way to round three. Um, did okay in the third round mega draft, but I'm a lot more prepared for it this year.
Watch out. Watch out. Here she comes. League winner, right? Put that feather in your
hmm
cap.
Got two new Discord tags. What more could I want?
So, like you said, was it eight top eights?
Hmm.
You've been in the league a long time. I want to say, two-ish years at this point.
Yeah, almost three, I think.
Yeah. Oh,
Em and I came
flies.
in on Chaos 2, so
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Great
yeah.
league. Had a really nice guy that won it. One of the best. Um,
Great one.
I want to know, since you're so enveloped in the community and you've been around for so many leagues, which designs does Miranda like? What are some of your favorite league designs that we see out there?
Yeah, so I sort of fall in the middle. I don't like the vanilla leagues as much, and I don't like the extra complicated leagues much. I like a good simple design. So like the BLB was right on the money for me.
Yep.
And of course, my favorite's always gonna be Mom. One, because I love the set, and two, I just think the design was so clean. It was a perfect balance of decision points of like how much do I need to take something right now because it's not going to be available versus when you take your really powerful mom. Um, and like it just felt like the multiverse was collapsing, which is what was happening in the story, and like it
Yeah.
just felt very grand without being, insanely complicated.
Yeah, those are always really good ones. The ones where it's not quite vanilla, but it's not too crazy, and you get
Mhm.
kind of a story along the way. Um,
And you're
those are
and
really
you're
fun.
inclined to take out of set, but not all out of set.
And you can't go all inset at the same time. It's like you
Yeah,
can't.
and because I think it's good to balance, because I think there are people who want just all on set, and there's some people who want very little on set, and it's
Hmm.
hard, like, because I like spice. I don't like being mono set, but there are many sets where it's just correct to be mono set if you're allowed to be,
Hmm.
and so sort of like it's tough to balance, like wanting the competitive edge versus wanting to have, the most fun, and so sort of being forced to do just a bit is nice for me.
And that's the problem I'm having with Duskmore and Miranda. I want to be inset. I want to be Duskmore, and then Adam showed me the math. He's like, "Yeah, if you go all Duskmore and you
The
get to 10
math is
losses,
not looking good.
you're at what, like 100 cards or something." It's
It's
like,
like
oh,
108. It's
it's
like,
like,
oh my
oh.
God.
I don't want to do that. I guess I can't go
Yeah.
all Duskmorn. But I don't want the other sets, the other packs. I don't like them. I don't want
Nope.
them.
I don't want them.
I don't know what to do.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out Duskmorn as we go, but yeah, it's gonna be. I don't think anyone has a really good handle on it yet, or a good idea, which means it's probably good design because nobody can crack it super quick.
Agreed. And it'll be balanced in that everybody's sort of having this problem.
You have those people that just have those 108 cards and they're just like, my deck sucks. It's all I got 54
Yes.
lands in here, or something. Uh, well, just like you are no stranger to the league, you are no stranger to the side events. You've been playing in the side events for a long time. You've been hosting a lot of your own side events for a long time. What are some of your favorite side events, Miranda? I would love to know.
So, of course, I'm partial to the ones that I put on. I think I do a pretty good job.
You do. They're
I
great.
liked my Mega Draft series. It led into the Player of the Year invite, which, like, I was gonna get in on average points, but getting in on my event while look shady was fun to do. To represent myself. And I think the rotos have been going nicely. I've been really happy with those. Everyone seems very excited about them. So happy to be able uh to provide that for everyone. But I think probably my personal favorite was the Johnny Decathlon.
That was a
I th
good one.
I think that was just very clean. It was really nicely timed, like right when we needed it. And I specifically did not have like an amazing deck, but I managed to win exactly one event while having a terrible record overall. So
Hmm.
I got to compete in the like finals thing, even though like I wasn't keeping up that good. Which was just like it was a nice way to reward having a good section, basically.
Yeah, it was. And I loved the decathlon. I had a good deck. I made it to the finals of the finals. Lost to Steve Strout, who great guy, great player. Um, but yes, you only had to win one of the events, so it didn't matter if you like did bad in a bunch of them. You had so many opportunities to do well. Uh, and the fact that like there's so many going on at the same time. You'd be like, oh, I'm in three of them. So if I lose in the fifth one, that helps my deck in the second one because it's still alive and I can add in cards. Just
Hmm.
so such a neat cool design. It was really fun, and it was the brackets of like the single person elimination kind of stuff. We don't get a lot of that. We don't get a lot of the this is your opponent, go find them and play them. And it worked, just worked, worked so good. Yeah, that was a really good one. Well, we got a lot of questions from the league. We're going to see how many we can get through. So let's start. Dan A, the beatdown bringer, your best friend, beat him in the mega draft. Sorry, Dan. Would love to know, what does your pregame hype routine look like? How do you get hyped up, Miranda?
So I of course have a hype playlist. I'm a
Nice.
daughter of 90s, early 2000s hip hop. So that's all my hype music. And I tend to just blare that in the car. But as far as pregame for big matches, I actually try to calm myself down because I get very nervous.
I get that. I
Um,
get that vibe.
like my stomach will hurt. I'll get nervous. So especially for mega drafts, I think it's very important to have a full water bottle, have a
Yep.
full meal ahead of time,
Yep.
and in between matches, my apartment like floor is one big circle. So I will literally do what we call taking a lap, which is I will walk around the circle of my apartment floor. Like
Awesome.
like I will go out of my apartment into the hallway and walk the circle of the hallway. And it takes like 2 or 3 minutes to walk all the way around and then come back to my apartment just to calm down because I'm like full sweating like in between games. So when I message somebody, hey, I'll be right back, I'm taking a lap, I'm very serious. I'm taking a lap.
I love it. Sometimes you just got to get on your feet, walk it off, especially in those high intense moments. You win your first Mega Draft game. Okay. You win your second Mega Draft game. Oh gosh, we're going to the
Yeah,
finals.
I'm
Like
sweating. I gotta take a lap.
our next question comes from Preston B. Vorbis. What is your favorite card that has either Watcher or Eyes in its name?
So I did a brief search, but I'm gonna go with what immediately came to mind, which was Watcher in the Mist, I think
Yeah,
it
me
is.
too. That's the
The
first thing I thought of.
Yeah, the guy, the big blue guy. I love him. That was like very much when I was really getting into Magic, was right around when that card came out, so I remember him really well.
Yeah, that's a good one. That was a really good card in that set too. Evan C. Peas of Crap would love to know. What is on your wish list, personal, server wide, whatever, for the AGL 2025 play season? What do you want to see in next year's Magic season?
Yeah, so I think I would love to get to have a couple leagues where I'm still playing decks that aren't what I'm used to, aren't really what I'm drafting. Obviously, I'm a very core green player at heart, so
Mm-hmm.
I like these leagues where I sort of go outside of my comfort zone. A lot of my top eights are like that. So like my first top eight was Baldur's Gate with black blue, which is a very uncommon color pair for me. My one of my favorites was Mom, of course, where I was on blue white with the big blue white battle that turned into Teferi and
Mm-hmm.
everything. That was really good. And then I've had two black white top eights now,
Nice.
which is pretty uncommon for me. So like I certainly have success with green, of course, and like the start of this league was very much green, but I like these leagues where I'm sort of pushed into a deck that's still very good and still makes a lot of sense to me. That'll be very like tempo focused or very aggro or like controlling in a way that makes sense to me of like lock down the board, kill big threats, have your own finishers. Like I sort of adapt it to my own style and I'll never really be a control player, I don't think, but I sort of start to understand a lot more these color pairs that I don't dip into as often when a pool very much leads me down that path. So I definitely would like some pools that really lead me into unique decks. Um,
I like it.
as far as the server goes, I hear tell that a new plane chase is coming.
Ooh.
I'm very excited. I love deck building restrictions. I love, unique mechanics. I think this one maybe we like vote on where to go or something. I'm not sure,
That'd
but
be
I'm very
fun.
much looking forward to the next plane chase and the next team league. I'm always here for a team league. I know you're a hater, but I live with my teammates, so it's very easy on me and I love to do it.
You know what?
I
If
mean,
I had it that easy, I'd probably love it
yes,
too.
I certainly sit in a seat of privilege of living with mine, and we did finally have success in Trios League this year after my when I actually got my top 16 badge was when we got fifth in double feature league, the
Yeah.
first like partner league, and we missed out. We lost our win in game by one life.
Oh,
Would have been
bummer.
that could have been my first top eight, but alas.
Bummer. That they
Instead, it was Brawl,
it was Brawl. I remember
my
you were
other
playing
favorite thing.
playing blue black. You and Cody
Playing
were on the
blue
same
black,
commander, and you kept
and
asking each
I
other what
had
to
to
do.
apologize to Cody and ask him to be my mentor for blue black, and it did work.
Our next question comes from Eric S. Smitty Not Smite. What did or what will you do to celebrate your big league win? Have you celebrated or what is on the agenda?
Yeah, so of course we have pre-release this weekend. We're gonna hang out with Dan, but we're actually think there's a fancy ramen restaurant we've been meaning
Ooh,
to check out, so Em and I thinking of going there to celebrate.
nice. Get yourself a nice little ramen treat.
Hmm.
Miguel B. Athurius would love to know what motivates you to want to check out all the streams so frequently.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I'm here for the aspect, and so I feel like when people are streaming, people are talking, chatting in their games, when, I guess to add to what I'm hopeful for to come in the league, there have been talks of bringing back the feature matches, which I personally am very much looking forward to because I just feel like they really add to the community aspect. And so to me, streaming is very much being a part of the community, sharing what's happening in the league. And when I'm watching, oftentimes it'll be while I'm working, so it'll just be like on my side laptop while I'm getting work done. So, I'm not ever like paying 100% attention to a stream most of the time. It's
Hmm.
mostly I like to have something on, I like to feel involved. I like to feel like I know what's happening, how people are doing. And when something really cool happens, I can be like, "Wow, that was awesome," and tell somebody, and like they can feel like, "Wow, somebody noticed my genius," like can really like everyone feels valued and like they're really a part of something. And like it's not just them playing a game versus a faceless opponent like you do, in arena drafts.
Yeah.
It's very much makes it a community to share all of our experiences. And so I think streams just do that so nicely. And like that's why I think having all the commentary and the recording of all the big matches, like having that finals game versus Dan like set in stone, I can look back at it any time is like so big. Like it's so cool to have this like archive of things that have happened, and so just really makes me feel involved.
You are involved, Marina, and you're one of the big names. You do the roto drafts that are starting right now. Always have something going on. And like I said, so happy to see you get that league win. Miguel does have a follow-up question. What is your favorite set of the last 5 years and why?
An easy mom for me. And you'll always hear me talking up mom. If you let me pick it, I will. I just think it was such a nice set because, like, one, it was at a very good period of Magic for me. Like, it was at the crux of when I was really focusing in on getting better at Magic, doing set reviews, reading articles, listening to podcasts. Like, I did this big concentrated effort to improve at Magic.
Hmm.
And that was like right around when I like really hit like my high point of feeling like I had really understood a lot of things that I didn't before, had a lot of strategies that I hadn't thought of before, and like really came into my own and could really draft a bunch of different ways and not just like this couple of decks I was comfortable with. And I think Mom was so excellent at allowing you to draft different decks and play different colors. Like every color was viable, almost every color pair was viable, and no two decks looked the same because of the bonus sheet. Like the bonus sheet wasn't the end all be all, but it did mean like I could have a Zada deck in any red deck suddenly, and I could play with red, white, and aerial boost my whole board, or
Yeah.
could play with blue and have a big convoke deck, and so anytime I played it on Arena and in person, I played that set a lot in person. Every deck I made was different, and sort of like since set boosters happened, I almost feel like a lot of decks, especially like in a set like BLB, a lot of decks of the same colors feel the exact same. Like you just want these cards in your deck and you don't want anything
Yeah.
else. And like if you're playing other cards, you're not happy about it.
Yeah. Get your
Whereas,
writhing chrysalises, get them ready.
right. And so in Mom, it just felt like your deck was always doing something different, and there was just so much flexibility in the draft. And like some of it has to do with the fact that I was finally able to become the sort of drafter that could do that when Mom came out.
Hmm.
But also I think the set really lends itself to it, and like the story was really good. I read all the stories for it, and it was just like a really big time for Magic, I feel like.
Yeah, it was a fun one. It was a great one. Great bonus sheet. Our next question comes from Jack H. Rackick. How is the local Magic scene in Dallas? Do you play in person limited?
Yeah, so we have a really big store, like less than 10 minutes from us. It's one of like the biggest in the nation. It's called Common Ground Games. It's fantastic. It's very big. All of our pre-releases have over 100 people at them.
Wow.
They do big
Wow.
events the like Friday night of pre-release with like photo booths and like refreshments and everything. Costume contest for BLB. Like they're always putting on a big thing. We definitely go there and do all 3 days of pre-release. We'll often do drafts there. Um, uh, and like when they used to do limited store championships, like we went to the last one, which was Whoa, and I won that store championship.
Nice,
And
nice.
so you got the foil Moonshaker Cavalry, and then you got a second one that had the store like written
Oh,
like
it
its
was one of
logo on
those.
it. Yeah, so that's how
Wow.
big our store is. And there's
Wow.
actually a very funny story that the owner told us during the last pre-release, which was that way back in the day, like many years ago, a representative from Wizards came out for one of the pre-releases just to like see what everybody was doing. It was like maybe during like cons or something.
Hmm.
And something our store owner pointed out to the representative was that the way they had the pre-release kits before, it was just like you got packs and it generated a lot of trash, but no way to store all the cards you opened. So he
Yeah,
actually suggested like giving it as a box so that you have a way to store everything. And like 2 or 3 sets later is when they started doing the pre-release kit boxes based on his recommendation.
that's cool. That's really
So,
cool.
yeah.
Jeez. Uh, our next question comes from Lata Birdie. Stealing Dirk's question, if you could play a league with any set in Magic history with any league mechanic, what would you choose?
So, what was the set where there was like a shop that you could buy different things at and there were like classes? It was before my time.
As AFR.
Yeah, AFR. I wish I could have been around for that. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds insane, but I
Yeah, it
so
was
wish I was
insane.
around. Like, I
AFR
think
was nuts.
if that was sort of like redesigned with our modern league committee, I think it would go crazy.
It was, yeah, you could trade with other people. You put yourself on these like paths with multiple kind of branching choices along the way. Um, some people loved it, some people hated it. Uh, it was a weird one. It was a weird one.
Yeah, and I just hear so many stories about it. I would have loved to get to live through that one.
No, hey, let's bring it back. Maybe it can come back. I know Johnny always said it was one of his favorites. Uh, and that guy knows good design. Chris York would love to know favorite card from Fallen Empire?
So, as someone who's been playing Magic for about 10 years,
Uh-huh.
I've never seen that set before in my life. So I looked it up and I'm very pleased because currently in the Duskmorn Roto, I am in the pod that I've labeled the Zealot. Zealot pod. I named all the pods off of different types of like followers
Mm-hmm.
to represent the big guy for Duskmorn. So we've got like fanatics for the pack lovers, and we're the zealots. And I am
Nice.
happy to report that Fallen Empires has a card called Pharrell's Zealot. So I will be choosing that.
Nice. You get that big Pharrell hat going.
hmm
You figure it all out because you're happy, right? Our next question comes from Dirk Bacon Blue. Would love to know what made you choose Bird as your tribe?
This one's pretty easy. I've always been the Black Canary. It's my favorite superhero, and it would feel wrong to be anything but a bird. There's lots of cute critters like the lizards and everything that were very tempting. I'd love to be like a frog or something, but it would definitely go against my nature to be anything but a bird, and I was happy to be best bird.
You
And
were
and
the
and as
best.
a group, we performed very well as a small old group.
You were a bird proponent early on, trying to get everyone to come be a bird with you. Um, but hey, it worked out. The birds had the word. And like you said, you were the best bird, the pride of the birds, as I was the pride of Mardu.
hmm
Richard K. Preacher would love to know what is your favorite international cuisine style?
I think I've got to go Italian.
Oh,
I think they're doing a lot of things right. There's certainly a lot of Asian foods I like, but I think I just love pasta. I love bread. I love gelato.
a lot
Like
of cheese in there.
love cheese.
Yeah.
And then I do wine and cheese classes all the time.
Oh,
We have a nice cheese shop right by us. So, I'm definitely very inclined to that lifestyle.
hey, and live it up. You maybe get getting ramen to celebrate your win, but that Italian's not far behind, I can tell.
Absolutely.
Kevin I. Kane 1993 would love to know if you had to watch people from a high vantage point, would it be a redwood or mountain ash?
Redwood. And this is because, as a structural engineer, I did have to take a wood 1 and 2 class in college.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the standard building wood.
Redwood?
And yeah, so it's the one I know and love.
Yeah, get out of
I
here,
know,
mountain ash.
I know the design properties of that guy.
I love it. What a weird question, Kevin. So good. Dirk, Big and Blue back with another one. If you could get a free, all-inclusive trip to anywhere in the world, where would you go and what would you want to do?
So actually, my best friend, besides Dan, my best friend Noelle just moved to Japan for 2 years. She's a counselor at an international school. Um, and so we're actually planning a trip to visit her next spring. So we've been doing a lot of research into flights and things to do while we're there. So I've sort of got a whole map laid out of stuff I want to do.
Awesome.
So if we could just get that paid for, that would be awesome for me. That would be really sick. That would save me a lot of heartache and trouble. If we could just get that paid for, we could get the direct flight from
Mm,
here to there instead of having to take the like 3 or 4 legs to save a
yep.
couple of $1,000.
Oh,
It'd be great. But yeah, gonna see a lot of nerdy stuff, see a lot of shrines, go to
very
the
cool.
Kit Kat factory. I got a lot of plans.
I love it. Sounds great. Oh, what a dream. I hope you get win a couple of those arena opens. Get yourself some money for your trip.
Absolutely.
Uh, Keelan T. Dewful would love to know any favorite moments involving Mareep in your Pokemon journeys. It is your avatar, the sheep Pokemon. Any good stories with it?
So I am a hardcore Pokemon fan. Always have been. I don't have anything super specific, but I do as a kid, I had sort of a dream team that I would assemble during every Pokemon game. And like, so I would like complete the game normally, and then I would do a bunch of work to either find or import from other games a
Mm-hmm.
like specific set of 6 Pokemon. And they evolved like Espeon, Umbreon, and an Ampharos always.
Oh, I
I
love
don't
it.
remember the other ones, but I always had an Ampharos, so if there was a Mareep in the game, I always got it instantly, and it was always part of my core 6. So if I was playing a Pokemon game, Mareep was in there. And I love sheep. In general, we have a lot of sheep stuff in our house, and like sheep and bees. We just love cute little animals, so something big, round, and fluffy is my deal, and I think Mareep just makes the perfect little avatar guy, very readable. Uh, like very clear what it is, and so I just love them.
Yeah, I think it's a great choice. What a fun little sheep you got there. We all know and love the eyes, the watcher. We've seen it so many times. Our last question is going to come from Bob P, aka Hit. Do you have a memory of one of the craziest matches of Magic you watched live, either AGL, Pro Tour, or anything? You are the great watcher. What is something that you got to watch?
Yeah, so I've of course seen many good games of Magic in my day. I've seen some big heartbreaks. I've seen some insane lines. I've got many good stories, but one that I always come back to was during the 4-person team league. The Discers were playing a game, and Jake, the man Mulcahy,
Oh,
was the like person directly playing, and the other 3 guys were talking to him, and so they were cutting it close on time. They had a very complicated deck. It was game 3. They were really edging out every point, and they needed to win right now, and they did so much finagling on it, and then eventually had to be like, you just have to run it. And he was like, the least confident of the group, but was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. Played it out perfectly, and he won with exactly 1 second left on his clock.
oh man, those team
Like,
leagues. Oof.
genuinely down, like, because we don't normally play with timers, so it's not
Yeah.
normally that, like, worrisome. Like, you can have, like, really good long games, but this was, as, like, team leagues are where, I feel like the most, like, heartbreaks happen, like, the most anxiety happens just because of the timers, and I don't like timers personally, so it always gets me, always stresses me out, and that was my heart was beating watching that.
I know it. Those team leagues, those timers, you see it ticking down. Oh, nothing gets me more stressed out. Ah, well, Miranda, thank you so much for coming on the show. I couldn't be happier to have you on to get you on after your first league win. Such an achievement. So happy for you. Uh, and up next, player of the year, right? Like I know you're looking for it. I know you're hungry. So I'm gonna wish you luck into that, which will be starting by the time this episode comes out. So good luck in player of the year.
Thank you. Good luck to everyone playing. It seems like a really fun format this year. I feel like we fixed a lot of things from previous iterations. I think everybody's really excited. There's a lot of strategy going around. I'm very excited to get into it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see how these packs get drafted. Each stage looks really fun, and I get to be a part of it. So I get to live it out, and
I'm
hopefully
doing my part to get you in.
hopefully I can avoid you as long as possible.
Agreed. I would love to not have to play my friends round 1.
well, Miranda, good luck, and maybe we'll get you out at the end if you take the whole thing down.
Here's hoping.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks.
Now, Miranda, also playing in Player of the Year, was qualified before her win. She double qualified. Way to go. She is playing. She's actually in my pod. I'm hoping we both make it through. I know we'd both like that, Miranda. But no, Miranda is a great Magic player, and I think one of the strongest members of the community. The eyes make you want to stream. The streaming makes people involved. It makes people excited. It puts on a show. I get to see a lot more Magic games ever since she came in. And her side effects are so good. I got nothing but great things to say about Miranda and really everything about her. That's going to do it for the show this week. I got more testing to do. I got this cube I'm playing in about 50 minutes. I got to edit the show, put it up. Hope everyone is enjoying it. I know it's kind of a down time if you're not in Player of the Year. But go out there, start an event, get it going, make something exciting. I might be cooking something up. I don't know. I'm thinking about cooking something up. I have the concepts of a plan for an event. Maybe a one-time event, maybe a weekly event. I don't know. Do I really want to do that? I don't know. But I'm thinking about it. And if I'm thinking about it, you should be thinking about it, right? That's what it's all about. We should all do what we can if we want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. Don't waste your time. Do what you want. That's my attitude. You know, I like doing the podcast. I do it. I might do a side event. Sounds fun. And I hope I win Player of the Year, because boy, does that sound great. Until next week, I hope you get to keep a good 7, because I'm doing my practice games, and oh gosh, I'm mulliganing to 6, I'm mulliganing to 5. And I hope that shuffler is in your favor, because no one wants to flood in this Player of the Year tournament. We want good games, we want good magic, we want good times. And I'll see everybody here next week as we go over week 1 of Player of the Year. Bye, everybody.